Cool. Hey, everybody.
Greetings and well met, traveler.
Oh boy.
Hey, we all lost.
We've been very cooped up over the last couple of minutes. What with the Twitch being like having server issues. So today's gonna be a weird stream, yeah?
Why? What's up? What are we doing that's weird?
I don't know. Just coming in with some weird energy. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan. I'm all about it.
I can go.
No, please don't. I'm helpless without you. Please don't.
Nah, dog. We've been doing stuff. Drew this guy.
Woo! Look at that handsome man.
I didn't finish him.
Look at that handsome person.
I drew this guy. Say this one's handsome.
Also handsome. Very handsome.
I like this one.
Those are two handsome boys.
I like him a lot because he looks rashy.
That's why I think we like most people, yeah.
No, it's like start to like post. I've been drawing these dudes a lot. I've been drawing the Polyutar quite a bit.
It's been very cool to watch on the back end because we've really been diving into a lot of Polyutar lore, which I think
we have.
Yeah, which I think that we probably need to talk about at some point on either this stream or on a future one.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
But yeah, no, like the development of that particular species has been really interesting.
Yeah, it's neat to watch, like, because we did a lot of this stuff without visual aids, and I was talking to Taylor about how it would be interesting to see how this, development, like revisiting these things with the concept of the visual aids that we have in place, and lo and behold, folks, it actually does do quite a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know, like. Art is very important to TTRPGs. I think more than just like it's a pretty book, right? Like it evokes setting really, really well.
Well, and it informs a lot of narrative. I mean, like there are so many things that, and I mean, this was also true. I remember when we started doing some of the initial concept art for like Arache, was like we started developing these guys, and like they started having all of these features that we kind of had to justify, like after we had made them. Like we really liked them design wise, but then it was like, okay, well, why do they look like that? And I don't know, that turned into this whole conversation about like monarchy and bloodline and like, well, how do these people reproduce? Like, what does lineage look like for Polyutar? So on and so forth. So it's like, in a lot of cases, you have this thing where narrative informs design, but what I've been finding is that design in a lot of cases informs narrative, which has just been kind of a cool thing to watch as that develops and evolves.
Which is cool that we have. I don't know, like you know what I think does this really well. Lancer does this really well because it's a writer and an artist working on that game together, and because of that, like. They talk about the look of the different companies, like mechs, and how that really does inform how they play tactically on the board.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, and it's kind of the same here. I mean, like I am by no means an artist, and most of the visual conception stuff that like we have gotten has been from you.
We're a powerhouse.
We are. We're a power couple.
Hey, we're
a Hollywood power couple.
That's how I would describe us.
I think that is fair. Yeah, no, definitely.
Most of the time I say those two when I'm referring to us because that's how I do it.
I don't refer to myself in the third person, but if I'm talking about us as a couple, third person every time.
Yeah. I dress up as a 1920s reporter, and I'm like, those two are a Hollywood power couple. I go into one of those booths and call a guy.
Yeah. Who is this? Don't worry about me.
Stop the presses.
What presses?
What about like
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's. Nice. All right, folks. So today we are talking about character creation, which we have found was our most comfortable place, and now is our least comfortable place.
Yeah.
So that's
we
exciting.
got fucking nothing, y'all.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
basically, where we left this off is we know what we need as far as character creation goes.
Okay.
We know that this thing needs to provide us with like 3 improvements on approaches, 5 improvements on skills, and then 1 reliquary item.
Okay.
I think we had talked about like doing an arm or an armor or whatever, but I actually think that we had talked about
Yeah, I think
that-
the reliquary.
yeah, I think that being more of like a caravan thing based on like how your resources are split up. So I
Well,
don't even
and,
think
like,
it's that.
Here's the thing, like arms and armor, I think are just going to add a single die to your
That's
to your
gonna be
die pool.
that's gonna be the mechanic of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Like
exactly.
you need to resist, you add a die to your die pool because you have this armor.
because it's a shootout. That's
Yeah.
that's what it has to be. But so yeah, I don't know. I've been
We don't have to
thinking.
worry about the image either, so that's dope.
So what?
We don't have to really worry about the image anymore either, so that's rad.
Yeah, no, that's the best part about moving to a die pool system. Like, I guess technically you do. Certain weapons are going to do a different number of nodes.
I mean, I think certain features that characters will have can relinquish more nodes on a hit, but like that's not necessarily based on weapons. It may be, but it may not be, you know? Like
Right.
So like I mean stock, you just if you hit somebody, you get rid of a node.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
No.
it's simple and straightforward. That's kind of what we were going for.
So let's take a look here. Let's take a look at our old question sheet because let's think of the narrative implications of our world. If we want to do the questionnaire thing, right?
Yeah.
We need to think of the narrative implications of the world and what questions make sense to the foundation of a person in this world, right? Like, what part of geographically, where are you from? What culture did you grow up in? What was important to you? That kind of thing. Those are the questions we need to ask. And we need to provide answers that
That relate to approaches and skills and all that.
in the setting, right? Like it needs to be draped in the setting.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so...
Night. Love you too. Night. Love you. So, did you get rid of the 5 and the 3, or did you just push those down?
I pushed him down.
Okay, because those are important.
Yeah. But yeah. So let's start really quick by looking at the questions we actually already have, because I think that as far as the first 2 sections on our existing character creation, I actually think what we have here is strong. Like we have a good bit of like we have like a question, we have like several answers that relate to a particular like species, province, whatever. And I think that these are actually very strong. Obviously we'll need to change, what they do or whatever, but
Yeah, we at least have the narrative side of things in place. I agree. At least for some of them. Some of them are very much just stock boilerplate things that we put in, and we need to get rid of it.
yeah, so like an example being like the Arache, like where in Eba does your character hail? Like every other section on this thing is like this big paragraph long thing, and like here it's like a scrapper village, and Yeah.
Yeah, we need to fill out Arishay culture, or like,
Yeah.
if not Arishay culture, because we've decided that they live within other cultures. Like, then if they live within other cultures, there's still like a subset. Like, there's still Arishay um, like collectives, or maybe not collectives, but like neighborhoods, right? Like,
Sure. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
so we need to describe like what those neighborhoods are, and it's probably a good way for us to like dive into like the history of like the world and how they interact with like, I don't know, the other races or the other species, and like,
Yeah.
so yeah, let's take a look here. So right now we have, where are you from? From where do you hail? And what does that answer for us? It doesn't do anything, right? Oh no, it does. It does a
Right now it's a plus to your approach.
Okay, so we have one approach. What did we decide? 3 approaches and 5
skills.
Okay, so we have one approach done. That's cool. Except for the Arishay, which we need to fill out.
Yeah.
Do you want to fill that out right now?
I'll tell you what, let's actually get an overview of what we have in character creation, and then we'll dive into specifics as we see it.
Okay, cool.
But, okay, yeah, so basically it's where are you from, and it's like, why did you leave? Seems to be the general answer. It's like, what were you protecting or studying? Like, what was your first experience outside the community? Why did you leave your Polyutar Regency? Like, what pushed you out of your human community?
Yeah.
So, like, those are the basic species questions. It's, where are you from? Why'd you leave?
Okay.
And then background, we actually did do boilerplate questions on all of these.
Yes.
And then we're going to need to totally change the effects of these also, because it's like health, armor, and movement. And it's actually only one question in history, which is why did your character choose vault pedaling? Which I think is a good, like, all 3 of these are good questions. It's just not enough questions, and we need to change what each of the questions affects and how they're answered.
So why your character chose vault pedaling, I think, can easily fall under skills.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
That could be a skill upgrade. And I mean, that one doesn't have to be specific to species or region. I wonder if we want to get into geography too. That could be an interesting way to approach some of these things. Now, it is the case that we'll have to figure out this flow down, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously the geography of the Polyutar is going to be under the waters, but where under the, well, then we just get into the fiefdom thing.
Well, and that's kind of the thing, is like, you sort of hit it on the head when we started talking about this, which is that when you get into these questions, it kind of requires that we have a really good, thorough understanding of the world, which makes perfect sense if you think about it in terms of L5R, like, because they're like the master at this like formula of character creation. Like, the game of 20 questions, they're all very specific to your character, but they rely on like an intensive, thorough knowledge of like what Rokugan is and like what Rokugan is about. And I think we have like a decent sense of that here with Iba, but maybe there's a lot of bits like with the Arishay and with humans that we don't have.
How many we need 8 questions, is that it?
So it really depends. We could do something where we have certain questions that affect both skills and approaches. We could do a total of 8 questions, which I actually don't hate. 8 is not super difficult to do.
It's actually 9 though, because we need one to be
your item.
Your reliquary, yeah. So
yeah. So yeah, 9 total questions. I mean, we basically have 4 here. It's like, where are you from? Why'd you leave? what made you be a Vault Peddler, which leaves us with a total of 6 that we still need to have.
Okay. So let's brainstorm the things that we can apply these to. One thing that we have very lightly talked about, but I want to get more deep into, are deities, the deities of Eva.
Okay. So maybe something along the lines of like, what are your thoughts on the gods, or
who do you worship? Why do you worship? Kind of thing, or who? Because worship is maybe the wrong word for the gods of Eva, right?
Yeah, there are definitely some that are worshipped, but I think that the attitude generally on the planet is much more like leave them alone and hopefully they will leave you alone.
Because they're real, and like not real and they exist in another plane of existence.
No, like they're out in them there hills, like don't go out there. Yeah.
So what I mean, like your interaction with the divine. Something about your interaction with the divine, I think, is one of the questions.
Okay. I kind of like just like, what are your thoughts on the gods? Is that just like too basic or too general?
I think it's too general. Like in that, like we do need to get I think we need to get specificity in here because that's what makes our first question work really well, right?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe something like.
Let's tell you what. Let's find the 9 question. Let's not even
the topics.
The topics, right?
Okay. Cool.
So we have where are you from? Why did you leave? And what did you do? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so right now we have where are you from, what pushed you away, what made you choose vault peddling, what are your general thoughts on the gods or whatever. I would also add something about like petty coin. I mean, it's a world that is totally occupied. Yeah, mercantilism. I think a question on that would be really good, especially for getting those harder to hit skills like appraisal.
Something about your current community, and then maybe something about like the actual something about your current community. Maybe something like taking from like Monster of the Week, talking about actual party members, like your relationship with your community based on.
Oh, okay, yeah. So something. What is your relationship with your current community?
That might be an interesting one for the item, actually.
I actually agree. I'm going to put item in parentheses on that.
It might be cool if, like, everyone develops the reliquary items based on their interaction with other people in the party, right? Like,
that's a cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else do we have? Maybe something along the lines of like, what are your thoughts on the old world? What are your thoughts on the collapse? What are your thoughts on?
So I mean, it would just be history, like a history question, not a personal history. History of Eva.
Yeah, because I mean, we've talked a lot about how there are different versions of history depending on where you're from.
I thought of a better question. Man, I don't know. Your biggest haul should definitely be... Maybe that's the mercantile one we were thinking of, right? Like, what was your biggest haul?
I kind of like that, yeah. What's your biggest haul? What are your opinions on ham? Well, unfortunately, Hank isn't here right now. I'm sure that he could wax poetic.
Who's betrayed you? Like a nemesis question would be really neat.
I like that. Nemesis question. I also really love, even if we don't formalize this into the mechanics of the game, one of the smartest things L5R does is it has like this like honor versus desire system. So maybe having something like, what are your personal goals or something to that effect?
It's about contracts.
Huh?
It's about contracts.
Well, like contracts are like your official duties. Like to parallel L5R, that's like the job you have to do. I'm talking about, I want I want to give GMs something where it's like something that you can pit against the contract to make those really like tense narrative.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like what are your like an ideals question?
Yeah, like what are your personal goals apart from contracts?
I think ideals is the word we're looking for, right? Like if it's about what you can pit against somebody's contract, like what is your this line and no further kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Maybe like what are your personal? Yeah, I think you're actually right. Yeah, ideals for sure.
Because I think at the end of the day, my issue with putting a question in that's like, what is your goal? This is a game about money. Like, my goal is to get fucking rich, dog. Like,
yeah, fair. That makes sense.
Do we have everyone? I think everyone who is a Vault Peddler had an experience with the cities, right?
Makes sense that they probably would have some kind of experience.
Yeah, maybe that's the. Maybe not. It feels weak.
Shit's weak, dog.
Shit's weak.
Shit's weak.
Throw me in the trash. What up, my dude? Ham only.
Ham only. Real ham only.
So we have like a question about deities. Maybe we can like go in the other like what, like an exotic fear kind of thing, like exotic fear or phobia kind of thing. Like, okay. What do you think lurks in the shadows? This is different from Nemesis. This is like, what are your fears? Fears is basic.
What are your phobias?
Fears and phobias.
I don't know how much I love that in terms of this particular game. I think it's a cool way to outline a character, but I feel like questions like that lead you into much more of like a horror kind of setting.
How about this? What is what's the most recent or the most significant setback your caravan has gone through?
I like that.
I think that fits very much that trucker aesthetic, right?
Yeah. Do you want to do most recent or like most impactful?
Most significant for you personally. Okay. That way it can be a group question that everyone can have informed on themselves.
Yeah.
And it can be different, right? How many questions, how many topics we got there?
We have, hang on one second, I should have just made this a numbered list. We have 10. What I'm going to put out here is the caravan question in particular really seems like it might be a better fit for our actual caravan section. I don't know how you feel about that, but
maybe. I mean, we don't know how we're going to be. We have to relook at caravans in general. So if we don't use it, we can port it over. Let's generate 10 questions, and if we and then if we decide we want to use that for the caravan system, we're doing the caravan the same way.
Yeah.
Then we'll port it on over.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that works. Cool. Well, so then we've got like a solid 10 questions.
Taxo.
What's up, Takazo 404?
You fucking crushed that.
Takazo.
I fucked that up. I'm sorry, dude.
It could be Takezo. I don't know.
That's rad. Takezo's dope.
Takezo's fucking sick, right?
Oh, man. I just want to... Guys, I haven't made a character in a while, and I'm getting itchy. And I'm like, I want to make a character...
What's going on?
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
Oh. Takezo. I see.
Why did the Nightbot... Why is the
He doesn't want people... They don't want people... It doesn't want people, like, just jamming caps, like, yelling in caps.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, gotcha.
Takezo.
The bot doesn't want you, but we do. I know we just met 30 seconds ago.
Listen. Because I haven't made a character in a while, I'm getting itchy. And I need to make a big... You know what I haven't done in a while?
What?
I haven't made a big boy.
That's true. Sabata's your most recent character, and he is decidedly not a big boy.
Mira was before that. She was big
Oh,
in spirit.
hey, Takeza, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We hope you stick around.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we just got to follow. That was very nice of you. Thank you. What up? All I had to do was say your name correctly, and also chastise our bot.
Chastise your robot for me. And Mira was big in spirit, but
Mira was very big in spirit, but decidedly not so in body. Yeah, you haven't played a big boy in it's been Emmett, right? That's your last one.
Maybe, yeah.
I think so.
So yeah. I used to only make refrigerator-sized characters. I think I literally described Reginald about as big as a refrigerator.
You literally described him as being as big as a refrigerator, yes.
Yeah. Peddlers is our game. We've been working on it for since February last year.
Yeah, it's gone through multiple iterations. We actually just got through a playtest, which if you're interested, you can check it out on our YouTube, which is linked on our channel. But no, we got through a playtest and we realized a lot of the stuff we initially had didn't work. So we're kind of going through a system by system revamp of everything. And then we're hoping to do another playtest in the next couple of weeks.
Cool. What game did you? What was your
Oh,
game
hell
called?
yeah, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. No, I'm so looking forward to the point where we get 1E actually out and ready to go.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
So I did have one to add. So how big are you compared to a
refrigerator?
Refrigerator. Oh my god, I actually spelled it right. Look at me. That was why you brought it up, right? Was because you wanted to have it included in the I figured.
So let's start going through. Let's go to the Aroche and finish up the Aroche because we have basically all of those questions done.
Yeah.
Except for the Aroche, which we haven't filled out a cultural milieu.
Let me ask you something really quick here before we go into that. We're looking at all of these questions. Is the idea that we are going to divide them 5 into species and 4 into background, or are we changing the whole outlook of this? I mean, the whole point in doing the background and species was that they gave you specific things, but if we have these questions and all of them are giving either skill or whatever, should we even have that stuff?
What do you mean?
I mean a much more open-ended character creation where we don't... I mean, obviously you'll have to pick a species. But
I will say this
background,
much.
Do we even need that now?
I will say this much. The parts of our character creation that worked were explicitly the parts where people got to pick something and say, I'm from this thing. Yeah. I'm from this. I think having these identifiers is going to be very good for selling our setting, getting people into the spirit of the world, and it won't come across as our questions like, why did your character choose bolt pedaling? Which is admittedly our weakest question. So I think leaving it open-ended like that would be leading into what didn't work for our character creation.
Okay. Then here's what we need to do. If we are going to keep those two things sectioned off, where we're talking about species and background in particular, we need to determine which of these questions goes where, right?
Yeah. So let's talk. Where are you from? We need 3 upgrades in approach, 5 in skill. So where are you from? We know answers an approach question, right? Let's break it down this way first.
Okay. Sure. So yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll put approach here. All right. What pushed you away from your home?
That was a skill, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
What made you choose bolt pedaling? We don't have an answer for. What do you think? Skill on that?
Takezo, no. We actually have several You can be everybody from like a garbage person to a tree person to a bug person to an alien person or to, a boring old human person. We've actually got a bunch in here. There's also, tunnelers, which are robot people. So no, we've got a bunch. Sorry, going back here. What made you choose vault pedaling? That's the background question. Right now, it relates to armor, movement, whatever, but we don't have those things anymore.
Right.
So, question really is just what do you think it applies to?
And so let's break this up.
For me, that's a skill.
Yeah, skill. Let's go with it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Okay. So gods and divinity. Approach for me.
So for this it's a big question of like how many got like going back to the Coriolis, right? Coriolis has 9 icons. How many divine are there in L5R?
If you're counting the minor fortunes, I mean there's like hundreds.
Okay, the majors, just the majors.
The majors are 9.
So it feels like it might be a good idea for diversity's sake to have this be skill based, so we can have each of the deities represent like a skill, which might be an interesting way to go for it. If we want to go less broad with,
that would give us a cool way to work in the gods that we did make. I would need to go back and find them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm actually into that idea. Okay, cool. So let's make that skill then. All right, biggest haul.
So that could also be an item, is the thing, right?
Could be, yeah. Honestly, relationship with the community, that almost feels like an approach to me. That's like your general temperament. So maybe biggest haul is item.
Gods and divine. Give some information about culture. The difficult thing with the gods and the divine in our setting is that the gods and the divine aren't necessarily tied to culture, and they're not necessarily. If anything, like parts of them might be tied to region, but they're very physical. Our gods and our divine are like malignancies of actual things.
Yeah, the gods in this world are much more terrifying, and in a lot of cases almost just monstrous, than any kind of like benevolent.
And they exist in the physical realm. Like there's like an AI swarm that is a god because it is functionally a god. So I'm not married to tying them culturally, and more tying them as like, these are things that everyone recognizes because they're fucking real.
Yeah. I think narratively it makes sense that you would have certain cultures that are built around that. I just don't know if I want to build that into character creation.
Yeah.
Okay, history of Eba question. Could be a skill. It really depends on what the question's going to be, right?
History of Eba. Yeah, I'm less married to the history of Eba as like a informing question.
Okay. I mean, we can get rid of that. We will need to replace it with something.
Not necessarily.
Well, we have 10 questions, but one of those is going to an item, which means we only have 8 where we need 9.
Don't we need 9 questions with the item question?
Correct. So we need a total of 10.
No, 9 item. We have 5 upgrades on skill, right?
Oh, it's an 8, isn't it? Shit, we need 8. Okay, cool. Yeah, do you want to just delete that then?
Yeah, let's get rid of it.
Okay, sick.
Nemesis question. Nemesis feels like approach to me.
Seems like approach. Okay, so that right there, that is our 3 approaches.
Okay.
Everything else, by definition, has to be by skill.
Well, then let's, I don't know, what personal ideals, does that feel approach or skill to you?
I mean, it feels approach to me.
Okay, then let's do personal ideals as approach. Let's do Nemesis as skills, and How big are you compared to a refrigerator? Is it a small refrigerator?
Mini fridge?
All right, that's a tunneler all over. I mean, that's literally a tunneler.
That is,
like
they actually, each tunneler dual functions as a mini fridge.
Oh man, tight.
That's sick as hell. That's also
Roger.
That's also canonically true.
I did make the most recent art much more square.
You just open up their face and get yourself a Diet Sprite.
I just open up Roger, grab a brewski. Look at Paul Utar sitting over there like disgusting. you would deign to have your
disgusting, he says while reaching into his own chest cavity to pull out a Dr. Pepper.
That's personal for him. That's these. Oh man, there must be some relationship between Paul Utar and Tunnelers where they're like, you're almost perfect. Both of them think
you are so frustrating because you could be so much better than you are.
That's the Paul Utar thought on Tunnelers, right?
1000%. Okay, so we've got our skills and approaches nailed down, but the question remains, which of these questions goes where?
Yeah, backgrounds and, and like, they don't necessarily, here's the thing, they don't necessarily need to be tied to background or, right? Like.
Okay, well, this is what I was pitching before, where.
Oh, I see. I thought you were saying leaving them as open-ended questions.
Oh, no, we're gonna have answers for them.
Okay. I misunderstood you.
No, I just mean, like, in terms of, like, picking a background or whatever.
Yeah.
It seems like that aspect of it isn't really necessary. It's more necessary with the species.
I guess we can get rid of histories.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I feel weird about that.
Yeah, I do too, man. You know what I feel weird about getting rid of? Things like the Demi-Noct.
Yeah. Well, and like, you don't have to get rid of that stuff. It can still be in the narrative section. It can still be in the world building section.
Well, and we could even have it as like, put it as like an answer to one of these questions, right? We can use these things that we already have built.
Yeah.
To like inform the answers that we are going to put. So let's do that.
That would actually fit with a lot of the species questions, because we talk about like Paul Utar regencies and like Emperor clans and all that. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so so then the way that this is going to work then is we're going to have a series of questions related to species, and we are still going to have several questions that at least pertain to background. Right?
Yeah, we're just going to farm answers out of it, right? Like that's how I see this. Like, it's not going to explicitly be about backgrounds and stuff, but we are going to farm our answers from it. Because we have good content written here. We don't throw anything away.
That is not true. We throw shit away all the time.
All the time.
Every single day.
I love throwing shit away.
Okay, so I'm struggling to figure out how to do this here, because for like the different species, we are going to have pretty specific questions targeted towards those things, right? From which Paul Utar regency do you hail? What pushed you out of your regency? Those things specifically would go into a Paul Utar section. Or here's another option. For each of these species, we list like 10 questions, or 8 questions, 9 questions.
It's all based on your speed. Oh,
everything being based on species.
So now we have 9 times how many questions times how many answers. Oh, Taylor.
Yeah, dude.
I hate it.
Yeah, I do too. But like, this is the administrative challenge that we have to figure out. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm into the idea of there being like 3 approach questions centered around species, and then from there on it's just a more free-form background building kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the species, it's frustrating because we're getting rid of the background, but we're not really getting rid of species. And that becomes kind of the determining thing.
But if we kept background and made all the other questions based on that, boy, that would be a nightmare.
That would also be very bad, yeah.
Here's the thing. I think both work. I don't necessarily love the idea that all of the approaches are generated off of your species, because it tells me that in this world, a Polyutar, like it has more give than that, but it does say
I
that
see where you're going though. It's like the whole like, oh yeah, tieflings are always canonically like neutral evil or whatever, like D&D did. Like,
and it's tough because it's a good way to establish cultural precedent, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, I unplugged.
I can still hear you.
But it's also, heritage shouldn't define your character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have 5 questions, and like these questions can be about eschewing culture as well, right? Like, those answers don't have to be about diving into culture. It can be about separating yourself from. So maybe I don't hate it.
I think that would have to be it, right? Like, because at the very least, you could say that although the species... You know what I think we need to do? We actually... Let's not have all the species questions determine just approaches. I think that's the way to get around it, right? Is like, have at least one of the questions we use for species, let's have it like affect skill or whatever.
Here's an interesting question too, actually. If we would like to, maybe we could consolidate backgrounds a bit, and then even though we're doing what do you call it, jobs as more nebulous, you still like build your way into them, right? Like that's the idea. Like you can get better at them and increase your ability to do things with petty coin and whatever by like getting better at it, right?
Yeah.
Now, did we talk about maybe last session? I think we talked about something with that was intriguing, and I can't fucking remember.
I have literally no memory of last week. That is such a big ask. You have no idea. It's literally the reason we record these sessions.
That's true, and I just thought it was like, well, I can go back and watch it.
Yeah, right? You can figure it out on your own.
So I was going to say, it might be interesting, because, like, you're still going to start with a province, right? And, like, maybe we're going to have favored province? Ooh.
What?
If we were talking about, because we're talking about paradigm shifts. That's what we were talking about. Oh, no. We were talking about having you set up classes and then, like, having different class setups could do different things within the paradigm of the party by, like, building into them together. And then you could shift to other ones if need be.
Okay, yeah.
So, man, it might be interesting if there is some way to... I don't know. Do questions based on that somehow.
Wait, so have all of your character creation questions based on your province?
No, not all of them. Just like have a section of them based on like a favored province.
So wait, so are we bringing provinces back now?
Well, no, because we still have provinces in the game.
Well, then what is favored province? What do you mean by that? Is that just
well,
like...
I'm saying, like the one you're starting with, right? Like the province that you're starting with in the group.
I don't know if I like that, because like one of the advantages of having provinces tied to the caravan system is that it gives you more lateral room to change into different classes if you don't like the one you're in.
That's true.
If we have preferred provinces, don't get me wrong, it's a really nice, easy solve for the problem we're facing right now, because we are Like if we keep provinces, we should definitely keep backgrounds and just add in, an additional question. Then we have like 3 questions for each section, and it's like a nice, neat, complete character creation. That becomes super easy. It solves the problem we're dealing with right now, but it doesn't create the kind of game we're ultimately going for with this new edition.
All right. Well, then, I mean, like, I don't know if we can have some based on, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of the character sheet right now, and having, like, this 20 questions, like, write down, you print off a species 20 questions. Maybe we should just fucking do it all based on species.
See, that's I'm actually starting to think maybe we should pull back from doing it that way. Like, maybe we should have it so that, like, you structure it like L5R's thing, where it's like you have the first couple of questions that, like, talk about, like, clan and, like, your lord and all that stuff. What if we just did the same kind of approach and we just said, like, first question has to do with, like, species. Like, what species are you? And then you have an answer and but then it's going to relate to a singular bump in, like, approach or skill. And I don't want that kind of racism in my game.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, your species, like, your culture is going to inform your interactions with the world.
In some way it will.
Yeah.
Does it inform it in a way that we can mechanize? That's kind of where the issue for this comes from.
I mean, we already have, like, with one of those questions. So, like, it can. I'm thinking purely from a bookkeeping standpoint, this would mean that we would have the 20 questions sheet, right?
Yeah.
You would have one for each species with the species-specific questions up top, and then underneath, you could detach from the species thing and just have the more free-form idea where it's just like, what was your biggest haul, that kind of thing, who's your nemesis. But it will mean that we will have, like, from a bookkeeping standpoint, these don't necessarily have to go into the book or, like, our first print, right? Because they could be PDF files that you can grab online.
Yeah.
But it will mean 1, 2, 3, 4. How many species do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We currently have 6.
So it'll be 6 distinct character sheets, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the top will have those species questions, and then the bottom will fade away to just generalized questions. I don't mind doing that, but it's something to keep in mind from a bookkeeping standpoint.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that based on the conversation we have had so far, that's the way we've got to go with it.
Yeah, let's pick 3 questions that have to do with species.
Okay. So let's bring
and this is what we do here, guys. We just are dumb.
Say what?
I said, this is what we do here, Takazo. We just
Oh,
are
yeah.
dumb.
I am so sorry. You just walked into the middle of just the most boring hornet's nest.
A boring hornet's nest is like a weird curse.
Right? Okay, so, I feel like because of how distinct the cultures we have here, where are you from has to be a species question, right?
Yeah, I mean, it already is, right? Like, we already wrote those ones.
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna keep these then. So, species. So what made you choose vault peddling? No. God's divine, maybe. Biggest haul, no. Relationship with current community, no. Nemesis, no. Personal ideals, maybe.
Yeah, personal ideals, they can go.
And personally significant setback, no. So it's either God's divine or personal ideals.
Didn't we have why you left? That's one of the questions, right?
Well, that's what pushed you away from your home. I currently have that marked as a species question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. trying to find the questions section where you are right now.
It's all the way at the bottom. Character creation.
That's why I was
resources.
looking in the. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna import the questions we select up into them.
What made you choose? What made you choose? I don't hate, but also don't love.
Yeah. No.
Maybe it is gods are the.
Yeah,
I mean,
best I can tell, it's one of these two.
What do you think, Takaz? Are you still there?
I was about to say, if you've already made a game, weigh in on this, please. We have no fucking idea what we're doing. We've already leached off of our other friend who makes games for a living.
Nick, man, I miss him.
He did write us. I don't know if you saw that, but apparently he's had a weird schedule or like weird stuff the last couple of weeks. I was hoping to see him tonight, but it may still be going on. I kind of like personal ideals.
Yeah, I mean, I think ideals makes more sense because of the deities being the way they are, like especially basing deities on skills, like who you identify with or how you identify with a deity.
Yeah.
Seems more personal than just like a carte blanche, like you are from this area, unless you're from fucking Vigil, in which case, baby. That's the secret god, though. The baby is the secret god.
This is only information for you, Takezo. The baby is the secret
There's a baby
god.
in a volcano.
Baby in a volcano. Don't wake the baby.
Baby in a... Oh, can you write a song called Baby in a Volcano?
Yeah, I can.
Next background ballads?
I was about to say, next background ballads, Baby in a Volcano.
Actually, next background ballads being like about like a visual like that, like especially if you're going orchestral, like that could be super intense.
Baby, yeah. I mean, Baby in a Volcano is just intense subject matter anyways.
Just that fucking Robot King, baby.
Robot King. This game is literally like if Bender from Futurama made a tabletop. There's a Robot King, and he's great. He's the best.
He seems really problematic. Yeah, no, shut up.
Okay. So the question we're adding to Specie then is personal ideals, correct?
Yeah, personal ideals.
All right, cool. I'm gonna delete that.
So that means that we will have 2 questions for species that are skill-based, 1 that is approach-based.
Correct.
We have 6 different, so we have 9. Oh boy, Taylor, this is not going to be fun.
No, it's not. None of this is going to be fun. This is all going to be very, very bad. And it's probably, we're not getting it.
We just need 48 distinct answers before we get to the ones that are...
I remember now why we went with the point buy system that everyone hated. we literally got through the Specie with like all these distinct answers, and they were just like, you know what? Fuck it. You've got 40,000 points. Do something with them.
Well, I mean, and this is why L5R's character creation works, right? Because they have a very distinct world that is very fully realized.
Yeah.
So let's fully realize this shit, dude.
All right. So we have 45 minutes before we send off for the night. We only have one additional question on Specie, and that is personal ideals. So I think if we're lucky, we can try and knock out one question and get the...
I think if we're lucky, we can probably finish the Arache question, which is unfinished.
Yeah, that is also true. Do you want to do that first?
Yeah, let's do that. Hey, okay. Why is there a 1 and then a 2? And why is 1 empty?
What?
Why is 1 empty on this list?
What are you talking about? What list? Whoa! 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 Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Yeah, but if you did get murdered though.
Oh yeah, I feel so safe with my dog that walks backwards while barking at intruders.
Had to wear a sweater for a while because his skin was weird.
Yeah. Super, super intimidating. What list are you talking about? What's blank?
Character creation resources, number 1 is blank.
Oh, I moved the species questions up. So those are just the questions we have left.
Oh, there's still species on Daughters of
Oh. Hang on. Oh, I know it. Sorry, I moved them down. You can see the species questions are grouped because I was copying and pasting them and moving them up. That's why.
Yeah. I was just making sure I didn't fuck anything up.
No. You're all good. I'm just gonna delete these here. There.
Deleted.
Those are the questions we have left. Okay. So going up, it's actually not the Arache where this starts. It actually starts in the Builders. Actually, half of our species don't have these. Yeah, dog. It's not good. All right, let's start with what we know about the Builders. The progenial line of the first Xenos arrivals to the post-collapse world, the Builders got their name from their accomplishments in the New World. Long and serpentine with the snouts of...
well, that's not necessarily the case. We fucked with their design a bit.
Anyways, the Builders are the 9-legged asymmetrical, measuring 3 to 4 meters in length. Builders have no time for mysticism or vagaries of any kind. Talk straight, be understood, or you aren't worth their time.
So, as far as design goes, we have messed with that some.
Okay, what do they look like now? Do I still have my luck dragons?
No, they don't look like that at all.
Oh. Cool. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'll see you later.
Let's see if I have a full body shot. Let's see if I can find a full body shot of one of these guys.
Do you have any, like, full frontal for them? Like, would be great.
I only draw them naked.
If you could just draw them with nipples, that would be phenomenal.
This is my band, nipples only. Hey, that's not bad. Not flipping through my sketchbook right now, sorry. I mean, I am a little bit, but...
He's not.
I sent you some fucking nightmare pictures, dude.
Wait, you sent it
I don't
already?
know if you're gonna be... I'm gonna send them to you on Discord. You can fucking... put them... in the...
Yeah, no, just send them to me. I can load them up.
Yeah.
Just so everybody can get a nice, clean view.
I'm fucking sorry, everyone. These aren't good, by the way.
Don't listen to him. He's a great artist.
Well, these are from a little while ago.
Oh, well then never mind. They're garbage.
And these aren't finished, but I was trying to draw 9 arms on anything, and it's tough.
It's very difficult. In the meantime, hey everybody, meet my dog. I'll pawn you off for internet celebrity. This is Benny. Look at him. Look at her. She's fucking cute. That's it. I got nothing else. Do something.
Hey, I'll send you this. I'll send you this. No, I can't send you that one. I was gonna send you some dude with his dick out that I tried.
Yeah, we're trying to get Twitch affiliate status, Corey.
Yeah, that will actually get us kicked off.
That will get us kicked off.
Funny prank though. Alright. Let's see. So, I fucked with them a little bit. They're kind of like a gross turtle. And again, these are just like, I was just sketching around, baby. Oh, I got another one too. I made this one look like I know this is a lot of build-up for you all.
It really is. This
was a bit of a professor.
Waiting with bated breath.
Well, don't do that. And this is like the last design I had for them. Again, these aren't... But I kind of like the idea of them being fleshy and volcanic on top. And sort of like... By the... if they have a lot of appendages like that, I think it makes sense for them to have like a carapace up top and to kind of be like a floating island that like spills flesh out underneath with arms like coming out.
Sorry, don't mind me, folks.
But I mean, these designs don't all represent that either. It's kind of messy designing concepts, guys.
Well, especially the fucking weird-ass concept I gave you, which, to be fair, is just a nightmare in every respect. Like...
So, I actually kind of want to go I have these coming up from, like, a bottom mass. Are you looking at these pictures I sent you?
Yeah, I'm putting them up on the
Oh, word.
feed now.
That's terrible. Get rid of that one. It's kind of got a turkey gobbler under his neck.
Kind of like this guy. He's neat
You
looking.
like him?
Yeah, he's neat looking.
Yeah, I like the idea of the neck's looking kind of like that. So here's my general idea, Taylor, is like, right now we have them like coming from the bottom and then growing up, kind of like a bipedal animal. I want to go the kind of opposite direction with it and have like, picture their back up, like pull it up into like a center island and have the appendages pour down it. So they're almost like floating with like these spindly kind of like fleshy appendages from this center island.
So they're like flesh spiders?
Yeah, like a flesh spider.
You understand that you're dead to me, right? Have I made that clear? I feel like I should have made that clear.
They have a volcanic shell.
Awful. Absolutely awful.
You don't like my designs?
I don't like the idea of a flesh spider. No.
I'll show you. Hold on.
I'll show you.
Hey, you're gonna love this.
I'll show you a flesh spider.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love flesh spiders.
On a fun note, here in Georgia, where I currently live, we're getting deep into Joro season, which, for those of you in the know, they're giant, like hand-sized spiders that just chill. What is going on, guys? Hey, stop!
I can't wait till they come up here.
You can. I promise you can.
They can't hurt you though, right?
They can bite you, and like they're not venomous, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
So if a spider couldn't like kill you, you'd be totally cool with it just gnawing on you.
I had one bite me today.
Gross! Why'd you do that?
I live in a basement. There's just things you need to get comfortable with in that life, right? So, like, this is just a sketch idea, Taylor. But like, the general idea here is
You're sending
this.
me a flesh spider picture right now? Is that what you're doing?
It is an extremely rough sketch of like what the shape would be.
Gonna send me a flesh spider picture, all right? No, it's cool.
You like when I sent you pictures.
It's cool. I'm an adult.
You don't even have to put this one up. I just want you to get
Oh
an
no,
idea of
I'm
what
gonna
talking
put Corey. I'm gonna put.
No, because it's not a drawing. It's like a few lines of like what the anatomy would be.
Yeah. I think that's actually helpful though.
It's too late.
Because to be clear, we're not using any of the designs I've just actually put up, right?
No. These are just concepts I was throwing around.
Those are old designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to utilize like the same kind of head and fleshy appendages dropping down from this center.
Where did you send it? Is it on Instagram or Discord?
I thought I sent it to Discord. Hold on. I might not have. I might have just taken the picture. So this is like my idea here. I'm just sending you this to kind of. Oh, yeah, it's sending. Don't yell at me. I don't deserve it, and it will make me cry.
I am going to yell at you.
So, do you see what I mean here? I want, like, this center mass to be high up with, like, spindly appendages coming down.
Okay. What's this thing here at the bottom? Is it like a snail shell or like...
Yeah, that's the top. That's like a kind of like a snail shell or a turtle shell up top.
Okay.
Like high up.
Yeah. So this is the design.
It's not a design, folks. It is a quick sketch of what like.
Not all designs are finished designs. It is a design. It is a general shape to connote a representation of a being.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd be even into more, like, making that shell smaller and taller, and then having those fleshy appendages kind of pouring out underneath it, and then, like, plodding along on these little...
Okay, thank you, Drew. Yeah, it's got a very uncanny valley thing going on right now. Like, my brain is filling in a lot of the gaps here, and I don't love any of it. Like... You have created something that in any other game is a monster. You get that right?
This is a player character.
So I'm not greenlighting this yet. Just to be very clear, I'm not greenlighting this yet. I want to see the actual finished
All right, design. I'll start drawing these. You know how I've been drawing polytars a lot lately?
Yeah,
give
me some builders. Give me like some finished, colored builders with fucking faces.
Yeah, I mean that is its face. Like,
is it?
Well, you saw what the face looked like in the last one.
I don't know if I did.
You did. Here, I'll send it again.
That's the face right there on the stream. It's like the
the other picture.
The multiple eyes and the big gilled mouth.
Yeah. I'm not seeing an issue.
This is the most terrifying thing anyone has ever created.
I like him. You don't want him to be your friend.
I literally had initially pictured these guys as like long serpentine creatures. Like,
what happened?
That is what I got.
What happened?
What happened? Who did this? Who did this?
That's me looking at Taylor's dogs, which I threw pencils in front of. Which one of you did this? Well, they drew it, so I guess we had to use the design. Bah!
Well, it's all we've got right now, so I guess. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So that horrifying detour aside, what are we doing with these?
I took the air out of the room with this.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go from here. I honestly kind of just think we need to call it quits on this session today.
No, let's do the air Shay. We know what they look like.
We do. Okay.
I love my design.
Glad you do. Happy for you. Alright, so the Arishay. The arrival of Star Shatter energy dramatically transformed Eba. For the insect creatures living on the planet, this resulted in a drastic growth in size and intellectual capability. Unlike every other new native species, however, the Arishay didn't form any societies. Instead, they quickly melded with the existing societies around them. It is not uncommon to see them in any settlement or city regardless of size, but their metal coating often makes them prime candidates for job requiring a tough skin. So, from where in Eba does your character hail? Don't try to justify your flesh spider.
What? No, don't even look at the chat. That wasn't for you.
The chat is in front of me. I'm gonna see it. So here's the thing, man. Actually, the options provided here, they kind of work. I am cyberbullying you. Correct.
Sorry.
You deserve to be cyberbullied.
I'm gonna quote you on that.
Good. If I die, I want you to take a black and white picture of me with the caption underneath it in italic white letters that says, "You deserve to be cyberbullied," and then a dash and then my name. That's what I want.
Someone please cyberbully my friend.
Somebody please cyberbully my friend until he stops sending me pictures of flesh spiders.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about. We talked about the Aroshe coming up in other cultures. So
Yeah.
I feel like a frontier village and a scrapper village are first off the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get rid of that because I feel like Frontier Village works better for adaptation.
But you know what we do have that's not on here? Underground, baby.
Oh. Yeah, that would kind of work.
We have multiple cultures underground.
So here's what I'm gonna posit. Let's actually have Vigil here, and let's put Underground in Holistics, just because that seems like the more natural.
I actually thought the other way, because Underground is taken up by the Halls of the Awoken and the Tunneler mainframes.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. Okay, cool. So then the question is, do we want to use these three answers for... Oh, hey, hang on 1 second, actually.
Yep.
Where in Eva does your character hail? What was that supposed to hit? Was that an approach?
I'm sorry, what?
I just wanted to make sure when we assigned these questions to approaches and skills, I forgot which one we attached to this question.
Approaches on this question. Because we had already answered all of them with approaches.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we were considering that when we did these. All right, that's fine.
No, we did. It was the first thing I said. I was like, listen, we already did these ones. Let's not throw them out because it's good world building.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Okay, so then do we want to use Ferocity, Holistics, and Obfuscation as the three major cities? Or do we want to just put all, like, a major city as the answer to one?
Actually, I think we can... Let's... I think it's an interesting way for us to develop the city lore and how the cities treat the Aroshe.
Okay.
So I think we keep them, and let's, instead of the adaptation being a frontier village in the wastes of Eba,
Yeah.
I was going to say, oh, well, maybe, I don't know. I was going to say underwater might be interesting too, having like a
Water
water bug. Yeah.
Also,
Also, like, Paul-Utar interaction.
that's interesting. I don't know if I hate the idea. It definitely seems... It's definitely not something we've established at all that these are creatures capable of living underwater.
But it would make sense for adaptation for it to be like an underwater kind of thing. It would give an interesting cultural standpoint to have like the relationship with the Paul-Utar and the Paul-Utar regencies, which are sort of separate but developed right now.
We have also established they have exceptionally tough skin, which would make them ideal candidates for dealing with quick reef. So,
Yeah.
huh. All right. Yeah. No, I'll go with that.
Okay, cool.
Let's see here.
No screen hopping. I don't know what that means.
Say what?
I think... The only other thing I can think is we could do one of the cities underground, underwater, and then we could do a satellite city, and then one other thing, which I'm not sure what it would be. If we wanted to make the cities one thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Both work is the thing.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of a major city just being an option and then letting them choose. At the same time, we have to kind of assume, at least at the beginning, that people probably aren't going to be super familiar with this world. So maybe
100%.
So maybe having the option to choose between cities.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Go, right?
Yeah.
And that actually leads me to my next thing. So Orid, a city on the water.
A city on the move.
Orid, city on the go. So city on the water where metal serpent, hunting metal serpents. Serpents is a.
Well, so let's think about like how are the Aroshe accepted in
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
In the city of Orin.
Well, being close to the water, I definitely think that they are hunters of metal serpents. I think they're prime candidates for it.
Okay.
So,
are they celebrated even? Like we're the first hunters of the metal serpents, Aroshe?
I think that in some cases they definitely are. I think that if you make enough of a name for yourself, it's almost like being a professional athlete.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And so like there are definitely like there's like the LeBron James of cockroaches.
I guess my question is this, like were they some of the first people to do it because they were the most equipped to do it?
According to the history we have, actually no. The Ember fights were actually some of the first people to do it. And that's actually the reason why the 5-year war ended, was because the people in Orid saw the potential for cooperation with the Ember fights to deal with this ongoing problem. So actually, no. That being said, Aroshe, I mean, that was hundreds of years ago. So like, that being said, the Aroshe have definitely moved into that space and excelled at it in ways that the Ember fights never could.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's like where the church comes from, though. Maybe the Aroshe founded the Church of the Metal Serpent.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I definitely think they would see some kind of a kinship with it.
It gives them kind of like a neat, like, monastic kind of vibe there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Hunted metal serpents for hundreds of years, starting the Church of the Metal Serpent, which occupies the city center. Okay, so next one, Iron Quartz of Vigil. Definitely, these things are probably heat resistant, right?
I mean, for sure. But the whole thing with Vigil is like everyone does their part, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think like as far as Vigil goes, like it's they make the most. They are the most Aroshe in Vigil, right? Like. They don't stand out because nobody stands out in Vigil. They are dedicated to the cause of Vigil because everyone sort of is, right?
Yeah.
Let's skip over that one right now and let's go to let's go to a mean one because I think that Ishtos is going to be the mean one.
Well, yeah, we already established that like Duners and stuff are. Like, yeah, they were like farms.
We have slurs built in.
Say what?
We have a slur built in.
A slur? Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
that's definitely become a slur.
Yeah.
I don't want that, though. That's rough. I really don't want to do that.
Because I think that it is much more like communities banding together in like like putting together housing where they can, right? Like,
Yeah.
Ishtos is, here's the thing. Ishtos is a very, very rich place. It is probably the wealthiest of the cities. It is also like physically separate, like they have the floating geodesic disc in the middle, and like physically separated from the like the lower strata classes, right? Like, so it would make sense that there is like housing for these people. I mean, they're houseless, right? They're putting together their own homes where they can.
So this is like literally they have like ghettos of Arashe in
I
this
think
city.
so, yeah.
I'm trying to think of ways in which like Arashe would be useful.
And they're definitely utilized for sure. Like, I think the Eyes of Ishtos, like, because the Arashe, like, have these, like, ghettos and shit, they're probably, like, just as intelligent as anyone else, right? They are.
Oh, they easily are, yeah.
So the Eyes definitely take people from these communities if they show any amount of, like, any amount of ability, like any amount of technical ability, and you get brought up to the geodesic disc, like, that's no question, because it's all about ability in Ishtos.
Right.
But if they also built these, like, ghettos and communities, to think that the Eyes aren't, like, utilizing those passageways to spy on people, to think that, like, the police force here isn't doing that, like, it definitely is. Ishtos is our grossest city.
Ishtos is our grossest city. Yeah, okay, cool.
I think that there are definitely, I mean, here's the thing though. You have definitely like civil rights movements incorporated into Ishtos, right?
You definitely have popular rebellions, which I think is where people like Dooner Brining come from.
For sure. I mean, because that's the other half of Ishtos, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is the spirit of rebellion as well.
So how to even put this? So Desert Eye of Ishtos, where Arashe, have been subjugated?
Yeah, it's subjugation, 100%.
Okay. Subjugated by
The powers that be.
powers that be for agricultural development. Yeah.
Here, rebellion is fomented and resistance forms.
Okay.
Because that's our positive spin on it, right? Like, because it is not just subjugation, it is subjugation with the natural reaction to that,
Yeah.
which is social fucking revolution.
Hell yeah. Communities have come into contact with underground tunneler mainframes and the halls of the Awoken.
Oh, and they often work as, because we taught how the tunnelers and the halls of the Awoken don't, like, communicate well or nearly at all.
Yeah.
The idea that, like, the Arashe have found a place as couriers between these two societies is very cool.
I like that.
Welcome in both and celebrated in both, but are couriers for both, delivering messages between these two cultures that, like, refuse to meet each other because of just those, they just don't see eye to eye.
Those find themselves with. Okay, and lastly, Iron Courts of Vigil.
The Iron Courts. So I think the idea in the Iron Courts is fairness, right?
Yeah.
Is everyone doing their part? So I think that the I like the idea that here they were. Oh, I mean, they're some of the first races, so I think that they were the first to support the king and have gained a seat in good standing on the Iron Court. I like the idea that it's matriculated into the society. The society is so homogenous there, right?
Yeah.
Good standing. I don't know. What do you think?
So I like the idea. Serve the king for centuries. Definitely, like, it makes sense that they would be some of the first to serve. So, like, the temptation is, like, I want to say, like, they've turned into, like, the nobility of Vigil, but, like, the thing about Vigil is there isn't. Nobility. Yeah, there really is no nobility. That being said, you do find them often occupying positions of great responsibility rather than power.
Feeding into that, I think that, like, the first Arache that came to Vigil, like, their brood mother died, and the king, like, took special, like his children, raised these eggs up, and so, like, there is, like, a brood hall in the courts of Iron Vigil as, like, deference to this brood mother who, like, consorted with the king, and so, like, it is a cultural significant thing because you are from the Iron Courts, deep in the Iron Courts, and, like, your history is the history of the city and was tended over to by the king, like everyone else in the city. And if anything, it is just everyone else has with the king, right?
Yeah. All right. Fuck yeah, I love that idea.
Also, it makes him like a mother, and I love him.
The king has many responsibilities. This is among the greatest.
For sure, dude. Write that down. That's fucking tight.
1 sec. Okay, so their lineage extends back to brood mother.
What was her name?
Earliest. Hang on, I gotta finish this. Servants of the king. He now tends the brood lair in her stead. One of his greatest responsibilities. Okay.
Matriarch something.
Matriarch. I hate naming things in this world, man. It feels like too big a flag to put down.
So let's think of Vigil. Iron Courts. It is, like, stark and strong. Flowery. I think it has to be short.
Matriarch.
Stark, strong words. It can just be like maybe one syllable, right? Matriarch.
Yeah.
Something that hits.
Matriarch Din. Matriarch.
Matriarch Stain. Matriarch. Like that consonant in the beginning too. That hard like. Done. Det. Ooh, det isn't bad. D-E-T.
Det.
It kind of feeds into the idea that everyone has a debt to this. No, not D-E-B-T.
Sorry?
Just D-E-T.
Yeah, D-E-T.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I've got.
Okay. It kind of feeds into the idea that, like, everyone has a debt to the city, too, right? Like...
Yeah, very much. Okay, cool. I love these answers.
All right, cool. We got them.
You know, this is actually a weird... The next few streams are going to be weird as we fill this out because we're going to be doing lore and mechanics at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we have 10 minutes left in the stream. Do you want to try for humans or what are you thinking?
Hey, let's look at the DNAs we made before.
Yeah, let me see if I can find them. Hang on 1 second.
Everyone want to watch me do a dance?
Oh boy. Oh, here he goes.
remember fucking Matrix when Trinity's like, dodge this, blows that dude's head off? Fucking cool.
You know what my favorite joke is? My favorite anti-joke is just like, hey, you remember blank? Yeah, that was tight.
That was rad.
That was really cool. It was cool when that happened.
It wasn't a joke. I was just remembering the Matrix.
Fair.
I'm gonna print off some cool pictures of the Matrix and fucking mail them to you.
Let me see.
Because pictures came in.
Where is it?
I'm
I'm sure it's on. Game creation. Hang on, I think I have it.
Don't look at those books. Nobody look at those books.
I would love to not, but unfortunately, in this case, we have to.
Oh man, fucking world's in peril.
Yeah, right.
Gross.
Okay, yeah, I have the gods right here. So
How many
we have Tunnelers, Mantle. Oh yeah,
Oh, we got some gods.
I actually forgot about this one. So all of the mainframes are connected together.
Well, they are, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was the idea.
Well, it's interesting because one of the mainframes is obsessed with the idea of being a god.
So it's about reconnecting.
I was about to say, it's reconnecting. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, Dominion Oversight mainframe, Ascendant in Nature.
So maybe we'll have to edit this a little bit, but...
Zodiac's Master of the Machine Towers. This is just your shotgun wizard.
Yeah, that's your shotgun wizard!
That's your shotgun wizard. Are you ready for the most powerful spell?
It's fucking Zodiac space!
Are you prepared to meet God?
It's me!
Oh my god. And easily the best, like, long-running joke for, like, the OGs who have been following this for, like, the last year or whatever. She Who Waits in the Trenches is just a giant crab, because when we started making this game, we couldn't stop joking about having crab people in the fucking game.
She Who Waits in the Trenches is rad, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Biometal covered giant crab, made a home community from the garbage that is the Quick Reef.
Quick Reef, obviously. We'll have to come up with a cool name for the Quick Reef god, though.
Yeah, I think so. The Holy Eye, the Terror, and the Screams. Is this supposed to be... Whoa!
Yeah, that's the coolest name ever.
What the fuck? I forgot we did this. We made, like, a whole society based on, like, the worship of, like, a fake propaganda machine, and we didn't... I forgot that we... What the fuck? Okay, Screaming Prophet, Locust of War, God of War Conquest. Oh, this is back when we were using the Sorrow.
Yeah. I like all of these names. They're wildly intimidating.
Yes! He is
What?
a god. It's Junior Brining is listed on this fucking...
Scroll down, let me see.
I've got it on. It's on now. More of a myth than a legit god. Dooner Brining is often talked about by older peddlers who insist that they knew him. Over time and exposure to other gods, the legend of Dooner Brining has risen from folktale to near religious followership.
I think it's brought him into existence, too.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, like, because of how we talked about the... has to have brought him into existence. The thing is, it isn't fake anymore. Like, the belief in this has, like, reacted with the world.
That one time that our friend told such a funny joke on stream that, like, we made an entire religion about it.
You did the whole thing. You basically missed the whole thing. We are leaving.
Yeah. Okay.
El's Dragoon's up.
Didn't miss the whole thing. You missed a good bit of it. We are about to stop.
We are leaving. I'm so sorry, man.
Sorry. We're sorry, Elstragoon. My voice is dying. Okay, the vigilant god of mining reborn into a polyp state. Is this Vigil?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. We have a baby in a volcano now. We don't need the vigilant. That could go.
We could call the baby in the volcano the vigilant.
I guess, sure. I do like the idea that like you hear whispers of like the vigilant, like everywhere you go in Vigil or whatever, and then you actually go inside and it's like, baby want bottle.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's terrifying though, right? Like, it is a screaming, like, nascent god formed in the heart of a volcano, dripping with like energy, which you can only assume is like the embryonic fluid of a god.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the metal serpents. Oh, that's cool. There's a little, like, there's a root god of the Emberophytes that they just call Eva.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's a really cool idea. I love that.
It's the root at the center of the world.
Yeah. The Builder. Oh, this is also Augustus, I think.
No, this would be Alt Finch.
Oh, you're right. It would be. Elstragoon, these are ideas that we wrote down like a fucking year ago when we were just coming up with gods for Eba. Remember, everything we just want to compliment their ideas. Reckon the Bone Lord!
The Bone Lord!
The Bone Lord! So good. Fuck. That moment when you go back and you realize you'll never create anything this good ever again.
Zeriax often takes the subtitles of other gods.
Zeriax the Bone Lord.
I'm Zeriax, he who waits in the trenches!
I am Zeriax, the Holy Eye!
The eye that screams the terror!
Jesus. It's fucking
One of our
great.
gods is Shotgun Wizard.
Zeriax is a shotgun. He's just a wizard that has a shotgun.
I mean, he has control over all of the machine towers that have, like, roving automatons over the waste.
Because they fear his shotgun. They listen to him. They have to. Oh man, this has been a crazy walk down memory lane.
Obviously, we'll have to rework some of these.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it goes without saying. It's just fun. I just forgot a lot of what we had in here, and it's...
We had a lot.
We actually did. We actually had a fair bit. Oh man, okay, no, I can't read through these mechanics anymore. I'm gonna throw up.
No, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. No, I think that we are actually done for the night. Thank you so much for everybody who stopped in. Thank you, Elstragoon. It's been nice seeing you again. We'll see you next week at the normal time. Also, for those of you who caught yesterday's stream, Into the Sunset will be available sometime, hopefully in the next week, on our Drive Through RPG page. We will let you know once it's ready to go. I don't know if we're doing another Background Ballads this coming Tuesday. I might be switching off every other week. But that will be something that we'll get to as we move a little bit forward. One last thing, for all of those of you who had your student loans forgiven as of today, congratulations, y'all! It's fucking big news. Congratulations. It, granted, should be more. It should be more progressive than it is, and I'm sorry that you've had to deal with it for this long, but believe me when I say we are so fucking happy for you, and I'm happy for you, Corey, because I know that you've also gotten a little, at least something out of this, if not a whole lot. We don't usually get to talk about good world events in this stream, so I just wanted to take 2 seconds at the very end to just be like, hey, this is fucking cool. It
very really, like still working things out. I mean, it will change my life. It very cool.
It really is. All right. Well, that being said, we are off. We will see you guys next week, same time. Until then, enjoy our waiting stream, waiting room, and waiting room music. See y'all later. Bye-bye.